Hey, it's time for Streaming Idiots. I'm Tom Sinclair, your chief idiot. Going to be a great show today. We've got George Price from Pendleton, the Pendleton Gazette, on as our special guest. You say the Pendleton Gazette. What's that? Well, hang around. You will appreciate knowing this. We'll be right back. Hey, I'm Tom Sinclair, the chief streaming idiot. I mean, what can I say? It's good to be here with you today. We got a great show planned. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're just getting into live streaming, then, hang around. Go on this journey with us. We'll be talking about lots of cool stuff that I think you'll benefit from knowing. Full disclosure, right off the bat, I want to let you know I am an authorized reseller for the vMix software and for the VidBlaster software. I design and build custom PCs for streaming and do consulting. So if I can help you with any of those goods or services, please let me know. Kind of got that out of the way. You can go to our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, and get more information about that. But about a year ago, I bumped into new software. Well, it was probably longer ago than that. But anyway, before I got really serious about looking into it, called vMix, VMix. And you can get more information at the vMix website, which is vmixhd.com. They're a company out of Australia, and they make pretty darn good software. So as I was pondering the software and trying to figure out how to use it, the first thing you do is you go to YouTube to find out about it. And YouTube is where I bumped into our guest today. We are delighted to have a guest today that I sort of discovered him quite by accident. It's Mr. George Price from Pendleton, Indiana. And George, I was looking around for videos about vMix because as a reseller, I wanted to see what was out there so that as folks had questions, I could refer them to different YouTube videos that were there. And George Price kept popping up. And I thought, who is this guy? He looks like he's my age. He's got gray hair too. He's a little silver on top, and this guy has got this stuff figured out. So I reached out to George a while back and said, come on, be on the show, and we finally got a date. So let me bring him in. George, welcome to the show, folks. Be very nice, and those of you that are watching in the chat room, y'all be nice now, and welcome George. George is coming to us from Pendleton, Indiana. He is the editor of the Pendleton Gazette, which is an online news site for his local area. And George, delighted to have you with us. Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you, Tom, for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Now, George has got a weekly show that I think he goes live to tape on and then posts on YouTube, and has got quite a following. And it's doing some of the same things that we're talking about doing, bringing guests in on Skype and using different sets. In fact, I owe George a debt of gratitude in helping me get started using vMix because, George would say, okay, now we got this input here, and this is how it works. And sure enough, there it goes. George, tell me about how you discovered vMix. When did it come on your radar?
Well, I really discovered vMix quite by accident. I'd been looking for some multi-camera software, and I had tried some others that perhaps Multicam, you heard of that, and there were some other ones. And I just didn't really much care for those. And just all of a sudden, during a search, vMix popped up, and I looked at it and downloaded it, and that's what I've been using ever since.
How long ago was that?
How long?
Yeah.
I've been trying to think how long I've been using vMix. I think perhaps it's vMix 8, but I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
Several years.
Okay, great. For those of you guys in chat, George has I think he's got the chat available, but he said that he may not be monitoring it. So he can scroll back through And you've got a greeting from Dr. Campbell. It says, happy to meet a fellow journalist, George. And guest 315 says that he's watched some of your vMix videos, and you seem to be the only one making videos on vMix.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Now you use vMix live to tape. You guys aren't streaming live when you do your shows, are you?
Right. Well, we stream live every Wednesday. Matter of fact, we have a show coming up at 8 p.m. tonight. It's TechSpot VCast on YouTube.
Okay.
And my co-host Rodney Connor and I talk about different aspects of text and apps and different things going on in the tech world.
Okay, and how can we get to that site to see that? Do we go to the Pendleton-Gazette.com?
I tell you what, it's a little different. If you just want to, in YouTube, type in XG6250, and that'll take you to my channel. Or if you look it up on Google, TechSpot VCast, I think you can probably find it.
Okay. All right, let's see if we can put that up here so folks can see it there.
But it's
XG6250 in YouTube. All right. Oh, so you're going to stream it live, YouTube Live.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Very good.
Right.
And that way it'll be recorded automatically on YouTube. You don't have to upload it later.
Right. Exactly.
Ah, very good. How long have you been using YouTube Live?
How long we've been doing the show? This will be show number 47.
Okay. So almost a year. Wow.
Yeah, almost a year. We missed 1 week. Rodney wasn't feeling well, so we skipped 1 week. But we're about to celebrate our first year during the show.
And so you've obviously got a large staff there that's doing all the switching and handling all the graphics and all that stuff for you, right?
You got a what, Tom? I'm sorry.
What I said was you have a large staff there that's doing the switching and handling all the audio and recording and.
It's just I. It's just I. Like yourself. It's pretty much a one-man show.
A one-man band. That's right.
Right.
Well, and with software like vMix, you can do that.
You can do that, but some of the things we're doing now with vMix, you really it'd be nice to have another just run out so you could talk. I can't hardly run vMix and talk at the same time.
I understand.
But we're doing some neat things with vMix, and vMix is such a wonderful program. It's well thought out, and there's not much of a learning curve with a vMix. It's almost what you see is what you get.
Indeed. When I first discovered it, the one thing that I kept tripping over was the way it handled audio, which was sort of radically different from what I had grown up, where basically the audio was handled separately, completely almost, and only came together in Flash Media Live Encoder. And so that's taken a little while to get a handle on, but I think I've about got it figured out. Audio is just a giant logic puzzle anyway. But tell me, what do you like? When you think about vMix and you think about all the things that you do with it, what's your favorite part?
The favorite part of it is being able to do this Skype show with Rodney Skyping in, or do Skypes with different guests, talk to them about things. I use the desktop capture in another computer and then bring that into my main computer, and it works out real well.
So you're using more than one PC?
Using more than one PC.
I see. Okay. Wow. Now, folks, just because George does it with more than one PC doesn't mean you have to. Today, George, everything we're doing, we're running Skype, we're running chat, we're running vMix and Wirecast, and a couple other things that are kind of running around here, and we're all doing it on one PC. because that's sort of been our mantra is one man, one PC, one awesome broadcast. And the idea is that, you know, you don't need a room full of PCs to do this, that really you can sit down in your guest room, your spare bedroom, your home office,
Right.
with a suitably powered PC and handle it all in, you know, one place at one time. Now tell me about your PC setup. What are you doing for PCs? And what, you running Skype on one PC and then vMix on another?
And using the desktop capture to bring it into the PC that I upload with and do the live stream with. But for me, that works out real well. You don't need a big PC to do the Skype. You
Right.
can do that on a pretty economical computer.
Sure.
And again, that for me works out great. Now I bring the audio from the Skype computer into my mixer and bring all that into the PC that I've got vMix on, and works just fine for me that way.
That's great. Now, when you tell vMix that you want to capture the window on a separate PC, you know, having never used more than one PC, I wouldn't know how to do that.
It's vMix has a free app that you can download for either Windows or Mac that you put in each computer, and then all you need to do is start the desktop capture app in the vMix computer that you're going to use for your show or your Skype, and then open it up in the Skype computer, and then when you vMix for desktop capture, that app finds all the computers you have running with a desktop capture on, and just click it, and away you go. Now you can either just bring in the video from the Skype computer, or from the second computer you bring in the video, the cursor, and audio.
Very good. Very good. And you don't have any problems with the delay, I guess?
No.
Okay.
I really have not had any problems with delay. You can look at some of our past shows. The only problem we have is with Rodney and Skype. Rodney seems to drop in and out from time to time, and he's thinking about upgrading his internet service so he has a little more speed.
Yeah, Skype is dropping a few frames on you every now and then on this end. Every now and then we'll get just a little lag where you
Okay.
freeze. Your audio is coming through very clearly, though. So now tell me about the Pendleton Gazette.
The Pendleton Gazette, just a local news service. I started I really got started in 2008, and was doing that, and then started doing some YouTube videos, and found out that I like YouTube videos more than I do the news service. But since I have that news service going, we've been pretty fortunate in getting a lot of subscribers, especially on Facebook.
I've got the Pendleton Gazette up.
I see that
as the main screen so that folks can get a feel for it. And this is you sit down and you write this every day.
Update it just about every day, depending on what's going on. Some days are not as active as others.
And you sell advertising on it, I guess.
I wish I had some advertisers. That'd be nice.
Oh, okay. So this is a self-funded project at this point.
Everything's self-funded, Tom.
I understand about that. I do.
Everything's self-funded. But again, back to vMix. Those folks up there, as far as support and everything else, or down there in Australia, I guess you're going to say they're down there,
Right.
Have been just fantastic. Have really worked real well with me. And there's so many different things you can do with vMix. You know that. They're using it in churches. They're using it to shows like this. And again, some of the other things that you can do with vMix, I don't think they really have hit the stride as far as what you can do with vMix.
I know that I had a call last week from from someone from vMix who is working with their hardware department on the vMix Go kind of portable PC.
Right.
And they are really excited about. They're going to be manufacturing those in the U.S. now, and they'll be available. I guess they're available right now. They're a little on the pricey side. It's about 10 grand.
Right. Right. It's 10 grand.
But it's 6 high definition inputs, and a pretty beefy PC. Looks like it looks like a portable TriCaster is what it looks like.
Yeah. Right. Right. But it's a high grade it, and you can do up to 4K with that.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
I think I'd have to have fiber here to do that.
But again, I don't think they've hit their stride on vMix as to what all it is capable of. But again, you know, so many things they give you for free after you buy the program. Of course, the desktop capture apps, they don't charge for those. The social media integration, they don't charge for those. The title designer, they don't charge for that. And it's just a wonderful program.
Well, and folks, George is not being paid to say any of this stuff. He really does believe it. In fact, if you watch one of his videos, at the very end of his video, he'll always show you how to go to the vMix website and download the trial. And to my knowledge, George, you're not getting any remuneration from those guys.
No, I'm not associated with vMix at all, except I'm a user. And again, it's one program I have bought that gave me more than I ever expected to get from it. I mean, as far as everything that I can do with it.
Now, they've got several different editions. Which one are you using?
I'm not on the standard HD. I'm up to just next to 4K.
Okay.
Just next to 4K. I don't need 4K. I don't have any means of processing 4K.
Right.
You know, a lot of people don't. You need, not only do you need a lot of camera to do 4K, you can do it with some cell phones, but most people can't even watch 4K today.
Right.
You know, you have to have a 4K TV, you have to have a 4K video card, you have to have a 4K monitor. I mean, it's just not really, in the United States, it's just not something that really is in its time yet.
I can remember saying that about 4 or 5 years ago about high definition, streaming high definition, and saying, you know, I can't imagine a scenario where you would need to stream high definition. and now we're doing it.
Now we're all doing it.
4K may go the same way. One feature that is in the 4K version that is not in other versions is something called the multi-quarter.
Right.
And that allows you to essentially do ISO. If you have multi-cameras, you can record each camera's feed independently.
Right.
And I've got a customer up in Michigan that films, or actually broadcasts live and records auto racing. And so they wanted to have the ability to stream it, to switch it live, but to record each one of 8 cameras. And so vMix was the tool to do that. It was really pretty cool. Really pretty cool. Well, what do you see on the horizon, George, as we look forward into 2015 and beyond? What kinds of things would you like to see vMix do?
Well, I'd like to see people use vMix. You talked about buying a van, didn't you? About something about a portable broadcast station?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you could take vMix and you could take Skype and you could go out and do remote news from just about any place where you got a good cell connection. That's something someday I hope to be able to set up. Would be go out and actually do news on locale and have people Skype that back in, and then broadcast that from from a studio.
That sounds pretty cool. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I
Yeah.
I suspect that's not far away. I know that Wirecast has got a feature now where you can take basically the cell phone, your cell phone camera, and it becomes a camera for Wirecast, and you can take that wherever. I
Right.
think it's
Right.
a little fuzzy, a little laggy, but I think as the cell phones improve, we'll see an improvement in that as well. That's cool. That's very cool. Well, let's see if we've got some questions for you in the chat room. One
All
of the
right.
comments
Okay.
is that there is a free version of vMix, which indeed
Right.
there is. It's standard definition, and it's got some limitations on it. But
Right.
you can download that and install it and try it. Let's see. Somebody else is agreeing that yes, the 4K version has ISO. Checking back through here to see if we missed some. And a lot of folks are saying here, George, how they've enjoyed your videos. So I think that's a pretty much a standard comment so far. I see David Stemper has joined us. Welcome, David. Haven't seen you in a while. And Andrew popped in. Andrew's down in Melbourne, Australia, so it's 5:30 in the morning for him.
Whoa.
On Thursday. He's a whole day ahead of us. Let's see. What else can we talk about with vMix?
It, like I say, it's got a very short learning curve. I guess the main thing when I first started using vMix that helped me more is that when you bring in audio, you bring in audio just by itself as a separate input.
Right.
I think that's one thing I discovered about vMix that probably got me well over the fence and using it a little more.
Really? Okay.
Better. The other thing is, and I guess we're a little different on this, you bring your audio in USB, correct?
Let's see. I've got a bunch of audios up here, and of course, a lot of them are for videos and MP3s that I've got loaded up. And then one of the audios that's coming into vMix is coming from my mixer
Right.
into the line in channel on my PC. And then I've also got the USB jack on the mixer hooked up to the USB jack on the PC.
Okay.
So that gives me, a couple of different options so far as input is concerned.
Okay.
The main audio that you're hearing and that folks at home or at business are hearing right now is not the USB audio. The USB audio I haven't had really great results with because I don't have the same control over that I have over the others.
Right.
So I'm trying to separate it out.
That's something else I was doing too. I was bringing the audio in USB to the vMix computer, and that gave me some issues. And now I'm doing it through RCA cable, and that seems to work out pretty well. But cool. I suppose the one thing, if anybody that entertains looking at vMix probably ought to look at their hardware. That's something that perhaps I didn't do at first, and it does require a pretty substantial computer. But i7 computers aren't all that expensive anymore.
Right. They are a commodity.
Yeah, they're getting a little more economical, and I suppose that it's going to be interesting to see what happens. What vMix does when Windows 10 finally comes out and see how that changes vMix. But they've improved so many things. I think you said something about the audio. The audio seems to have improved a lot. from the back when I was first started using it, perhaps version 8. And also, they seem to have improved the ability to run several USB cameras, webcams, if you will,
Right.
on this at the same time.
Right. Right. I've currently got 3 Logitechs plugged in right now, plus I've got a Canon HF200 coming through a Blackmagic Intensity Pro card. So yeah, they've done a good job with that. We're getting some folks in the chat room that ask if we have a clip of one of your shows to look at. Would you mind if I played a clip off of YouTube?
Would not mind. One of the TechSpot VCast shows?
We can do that. Let's see. Let's go back here, and we'll do the, how about the Not a Happy Camper show?
Okay.
Right.
And yeah, absolutely.
All right. It's an hour-long show, but we'll just show a few minutes of it just so folks can have a feel for it. And I will say that this is a screen capture. It's going to look better. It's going to look better live when you watch it on YouTube. So let's see if we can get that going up here.
Welcome to TechSpot VCast show number 46, January 8th, 2015. A day after we were supposed to do this, but there was something going on over at Rodney's house that he needed to take care of other than do the show on Wednesday. Rodney, tell us what happened there.
Well, I got off work, and since it was so cold, I had my phone turned off so that it wouldn't go dead trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
So as soon as I turned it on, I had a lot of messages. One from my children's mom and my grandmother. So I read through them and noticed something was going on. So I gave them a call and found out that my son apparently was having some issues with his ear. And I know what that feels like. I had a lot of issues. So got him over to the doctor, earache, and got him some medicine. So he's doing good now. He's hanging out, worked out good since school isn't in session anyway with all these cold days and snow days and this and that. So he hasn't missed any school yet. I just got the message that they have a 2-hour delay, but I'm guessing they probably will end up actually changing that.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of thing.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you don't want to mess with, especially this time of year, to make sure you know what's going on, with the kids and stuff like that.
Right.
Ear infection.
Actually, he's here with me here still, just him this time. And of course, as I've started this tradition, he wanted to come in and talk.
Oh.
Talk to you or say something, or he doesn't even know what he wanted to say. But I actually got a go ahead and move us so when he comes in.
Okay.
I've got a microphone just for him now.
Oh, okay.
Or for the kids, I should say.
That would be cool. Absolutely cool. We've got a lot of great stuff.
Okay, well, I think we get the feel that George's show can be just as homey as this one is, with a little bit of that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that bound to pop up. If you're interested, if you go to XG6250 in YouTube, you can get to his channel. Let's see, let's go back here. It's just simply George Price. If you want to do a Google search on George Price, you'll come up with his channel, and he's got tons of videos there. And not all of them are about vMix. I mean, the TechCast, the TechSpot VCast, the weekly show will cover all types of tech stuff, George. I mean, what kind of stuff have y'all been looking at lately?
We're going to be looking at several things tonight to see what we got up here. We're going to be talking about the hack that just happened to the military accounts. We're going to be talking about the YouTube and Twitter hacks that shut down those social sites. We're going to be also talking about Google Chrome has come up with a remote desktop that you can use with Mac computers, iOS, and we got some more. Apple has got a patent for a sports camera now. We don't know what they're going to do with that, but we're going to talk about, and some other things.
Cool, man. I don't know how you stay on top of all that stuff. I've carved out just a slight little niche, and it's all I can do to keep up with my niche.
I have to give credit to Rodney Connor. That's the gentleman that you've seen in the show with me. Rodney is a tech whiz. He gets a lot of great stories each week. Rodney worked for Apple for a while, so, and again, he's kind of the Apple guy and talks about a lot of Apple products and what's going on. Plus, he's just I don't know, you might say overly interested in tech, but that's what he enjoys, and he really is a great partner in this program.
I love it. Overly interested in tech. Oh, like everybody that watches our shows, George, is overly interested in tech. It's just,
is that all they're interested in?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, but again, he's a great partner in this show, and I really appreciate his contact to me. I put up a feeler on Facebook and wanted to know if anybody wanted to collab. You know, I didn't think anybody would come back because this part of the U.S., it just don't seem to be all that much interest in some of the things that Rodney and I are doing. But he came back like that. We talked about it, and now again we're in show number 47. So it's been a great experience.
And there it is, folks. TechSpot VCast, and it's simply techspotvcast.com, and that'll get you there. Very good. Yeah. And what time is the show tonight, George?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock Eastern.
8 o'clock Eastern. And Rodney also, including our show being on YouTube, Rodney has put up podcasts of our show you can listen to. They're on iTunes, Blueberry, Stitcher Radio, and several other podcasts. And they've been doing real well. People have been downloading those and listening to them.
We're getting some pushback in the chat room. They're saying that they're not all just music too.
Oh, I didn't, but yeah, it's what can I say about tech? It's what makes things really hum today, and there's so much again going on in the tech world, and some exciting things coming up too. You're going to have cars pretty soon that you won't have to drive, Tom. They'll just take you wherever you want to go.
You know, I saw that in a movie the other night where the guy got into the driverless car and it drove him to some island in the Pacific. And I said, I don't know that I like that. Maybe my grandson will like that, but I'm going to pass on that one.
Oh.
We do want to give a shout out to Jean, who is watching us from Canada, who says that it is negative 27 degrees Fahrenheit there today.
It's warmer there than it is here.
He said it's negative 32 degrees Celsius. He said the high has been negative 10. Oh, my goodness. So it could be worse. Wherever you are, it probably is worse for Jean than for the rest of us. Let's see. So, George, you have got your finger in so many interesting pies with the news page and the TechSpot VCast, and then all the stuff you do for vMix. How do you find time for it all?
Well, it's something. I don't do anything else. So I got a little more time than some other people, but it really, once you get a schedule, it doesn't take all that long to do a lot of stuff. Now, Tuesdays, I upload a new video to YouTube. Wednesdays, we do our show, TechSpot VCast. Thursdays, I'm going to do, if I can find someone to collab with, talk about different things via Skype or YouTube or something like that, or some other person. We've talked to Wallet Hub a few times about different things, information they have, and do those on Thursday, a collab show.
Cool. But you say you're looking for somebody to help you on that one.
Well, as someone to interview, you know,
Okay.
have a
Okay.
guest in like you're doing now,
Right.
and someone to talk to about what they do on YouTube or whatever else they do. Thursdays.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Thursday. So you're going to have your own network here going before too long.
No, not quite. But no, there's some other things that perhaps are in the mix this summer, but we'll talk about them if they work out. Perhaps another YouTube channel with some different kinds of videos going up.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Give a quick shout out to Mike, who's just joined us in the chat room. Welcome. You're going to get some demerits for not showing up on time, but that's okay. Well, let me change gears here for just a second, George.
Okay. Okay.
Prior to getting you on, we were chatting in the pre-show about ways to monetize your shows, and someone approached me before Christmas with it's not a new concept, but I think the fact that he's consolidated so many ideas into one is sort of a new concept, and he's brought it down to a level where what I would call the common guy, you know, the George Price, the Tom Sinclair, can be interested in using this method to monetize our videos. And basically, it is a way to insert advertising into our live and recorded broadcasts.
Oh, that's easy to do. That's really easy to do.
And it happens with a remote ad server, and at the end of the month they send you a check. And so you end up, you know, pushing a button, hitting a command, and let's say right now we were going to take a 2-minute ad break. And so I would press a button in vMix or a separate app, and the ad server would take over this stream and play ads for 2 minutes, and then at the end of 2 minutes, I'd have a little countdown timer on my screen. At the end of 2 minutes, I knew that the ad server had released my stream back to me, so I could pick up the broadcast. And essentially, what they want is they want eyeballs. And so, you know, when I'm looking here at the chat, and I've got Alan up in Wisconsin, and I've got Charles in South Carolina. And I've got, let me pick somebody else, Stemper. Where's Stemper? Are you in Kentucky? Jim Moline's in South Carolina. Andrew's in Melbourne, Australia. Martin Kay's in Manchester, England. Each one of those guys would get a different ad based on their geography. And I mean, it all happens in the twinkling of an eye that all that gets divided up. And so depending on how many folks I've got watching my live show, you know, and depending on what the CPM rate is for the particular ad that's showing, I get paid. If I choose to have that recorded and placed on that CDN's website and then have access to that through my website or something like that, what it does is it puts a signal at that ad break in my recording, and that signal triggers fresh ads. So when somebody watches it video on demand, they get new ads that are based on what their locale is. And so I get a check from that too. So with all these checks, you know, I could get a check for, I don't know, 50, 75 cents a month. No, just season. I think it could be more than that. But I think some of the folks that are doing broadcasting are occasionally getting some large audiences, depending on what it is that they're broadcasting. I know my friend R.J. Murdoch, back in I guess it was December, it may have been November, he was broadcasting NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament on the Gulf Coast down in Florida. And he had, I don't know, 16 or 20,000 viewers during the course of the 2 days that he was broadcasting the game. I think the finals of that game were actually picked up and broadcast live on CBS. So it was a pretty notable tournament in that sense. But he had, I think, 7 games that he broadcast, and there were timeouts during the broadcast, and there was halftime, and there was pregame, and there was postgame, and there was time between the games that the announcers had to kind of fill the space. But had he had the ability to he wouldn't have to sell the ads. He wouldn't have to pursue anybody about them. He wouldn't have to get any permissions for them. He'd just click a button and the ads would play, and they would be unique to whatever the viewer was. Now, see, that's a and the whole idea with the way the developer has approached me about this is that they're not out there looking for hundreds of thousands of eyeballs. They're looking to consolidate 100 eyeballs from here and 70 eyeballs from there. And if they can get thousands of these small guys like you and me together, then they've got hundreds of thousands of eyeballs to sell ads to. So that was sort of the pre-show buzz today, as we've been talking. And I've been talking on the vMix forum and on the VidBlaster forum, trying to figure out how to get that command into the software so that can be done from inside the software, and which means that the software becomes more desirable, it becomes more powerful, and it becomes easier for the operator to kind of initiate some of this, because in VidBlaster they're clicking on a module. In vMix they're clicking on an input, or in this case it might be an output, and a window would flash up the amount of time remaining before. So who is it? Alan Bunt's giving us a hard time about trying to monetize our video. Alan is in the church broadcasting business, so he doesn't quite have the same leeway to go. Anyway, but that is a concept that I think we're going to see more and more of as the technology, as basically as they've already picked the low hanging fruit, and now they have to go after the fruit that's a little bit more difficult to get to. That'll be us and our dozens and hundreds of viewers, as it were. All right, well, let's see what else we got going in the chat room here. Dr. Campbell says he can't get to the ad rates on your website, that he's getting a 401 code. So you may want to check on that in the Pendleton Gazette.com.
Okay.
And then somebody else is talking about driving BMWs. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to Anderson, who's joining us. Anderson, glad to have you here. We've been corresponding by email over the last several days with questions about vMix. Yes, indeed. So what else is stirring there with the Pendleton Gazette and George Price?
But no, you talk about ads, and you put up a video just a short time back about different ways to monetize.
That's right.
What you do. Yeah, really, that was a great video. It really was. I think perhaps if folks haven't looked at it, that it would be well worth their time to look at that, because I got some ideas from that you could possibly incorporate. Now, some of my videos, the more local videos, I just put up straight on Facebook. I don't even put them on YouTube. I found out that that works better because if I put them up on YouTube, folks there don't look at them. So I'll just put them up there, and you could incorporate some ads in some of those local videos right on Facebook. If you get some local advertiser that wants to have a plug for their business or something else, you could incorporate an ad right in that video you put up on Facebook.
That's right, and it's embedded into the video, so it's there forever. And that a lot of advertisers like that idea of something that has a long-term residual effect. Yeah.
That's the only problem between YouTube videos and Facebook videos. Once you burn it into that video, it's going to live forever. As long as it's there.
I have some videos that I did in the early days back in 2012 when we first started the VidBlaster Guy show, and those still get views.
Yeah, they're going to burn in forever.
Yep.
The only way around that, but I can't afford to use them, would be someone like Bright Cove or Katrina or whatever, whatever that is. They got a a server that you can actually change the ads anytime you need to, you know.
And I think it's a Bright Cove level type outfit that the guy I'm working with is working with.
Right.
Yeah. So they're consolidating things down to a bite-sized chunk kind of level, something that we can sink our teeth into instead of having to eat the whole elephant.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, and George, it seems like every day something crosses my screen, whether it's my computer screen or my Samsung Galaxy Tab screen, and attracts my attention and says, "Hey, pay attention to me." I find the older I get, the harder it is for me to focus because so many great concepts are bombarding me right and left.
Right.
You know, it's like, wow, you know, I can't get focused on one good idea until the next good idea comes along.
Right.
Gee whiz.
Right.
All right, Stemper, you've got a question about what was the name of the software? Well, you got to give us some help. Were you talking about vMix or VidBlaster or something that George was just referring to? That's David Stemper in the chat room. All right, so we'll let him stir on that for a little bit. George, we've got a few minutes left. Plug something that you're doing. Have you got something that's coming up that you're working on that you'd like to share? Here would be a good time for it.
Well, I got a couple YouTube videos on the back burner, and I'm not sure if I want to talk about those just yet because I haven't decided how I'm going to do those. But we just did one on YouTube about people have been talking about their subscribers have been going up, but it seemed like their views have not been following that.
Huh.
It seems like the more subscribers you get, the less number of views you might get per subscriber, and that's just the nature of YouTube. I mean, you can look at some of the big YouTubers out there, the ones that's got millions of subscribers,
right?
And you'll see a disparity in there, and there will be fluctuations. We're going to also be talking about YouTube videos. YouTube has said watch time is the ultimate. The more watch time you get, the more whatever you get up on YouTube.
Right.
And some of that has been getting people to make longer videos. Well, that's not always the perhaps the best way to go with YouTube. I'm going to be doing a video about that and perhaps what some things you can do with perhaps drawing more eyeballs to your videos. That's coming up.
Well, you know, George, that's a really great subject to talk about because I have been trying to make actually shorter and shorter videos, thinking that would encourage folks. You know, I know when I go to look for some videos to watch, if it's on a particular subject, and I've got choices between one that lasts an hour and one that lasts 10 minutes, I'm going to start with the 10-minute one. Because I may get what I'm looking for in 10 minutes as opposed to watching an hour's worth. And I've noticed that you've taken a lot of your broadcasts and you've kind of broken them up into bite-sized chunks too.
I did that at first to try and perhaps draw a little more attention to TechSpot VCast. I'm not doing that now. I'm leaving the show intact. I'm not taking any clips out for that. But you're absolutely right. One thing about perhaps just, well, any kind of video, only use the time it takes to tell what you need to tell. I've got a video I did a while back about sun glare on laptops, and I was using YouTube strategy to try and make that video a little longer, get more watch time, and I caught heck over that video. It should have only taken a minute to do the video, and I turned it into about a 7-minute video, and I really caught some flack over that, you know, because that's all it took to tell how to do that.
Right.
And so I did another one on a cell phone about doing a little photo trick with a cell phone, and it only took me 2 minutes to do the whole procedure. and that's how long the video was. And I got some comments that people really liked that, short and sweet, you know, just get it right there.
Right. They don't want a lot of folksy conversation. They just want the answer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've gotten a lot of criticism on this show for being long and too long spoken, I think is what somebody told me one time. But that's just the nature of this show. It just you can't be in a hurry when you're watching this show because it takes us a long time to get to the subject sometimes.
Well, you know, some of the things you do take a little more time to fully explain. I watched one a while back where he was doing a show on green screen using vMix and VidBlaster and something else. And it took a little time to do that. I mean, that's okay.
It does. Plus, it's fun. You know, don't have to rush through it. Let's enjoy it while we've got it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for those of you that are watching us live, I hope you'll hang around for the post show. We've got some flowers, a beautiful flower arrangement set up in the green room, and you're all invited to come in there after the show. And for those of you watching on YouTube, you just have to watch us live. What can I say? Our guest today has been George Price, who is the editor of the Pendleton Gazette, pendleton-gazette.com, and also the producer behind the TechSpot VCast show that comes on weekly. And he also has all sorts of other great things where he's going on, does some super tutorials on how to use vMix. And so I think he's worth following on Twitter. George, what is your Twitter handle?
It is Pendleton Gazette without the O in the Pendleton.
Okay. Well, go to techspotvcast.com and maybe you can find it. Oh, yeah. I know where it is. It's on your YouTube page.
It's also on the YouTube page.
Yeah, and George does a great job of posting all sorts of interesting kind of little factlets, little tidbits on Twitter throughout the day. And so, well done. Well, folks, I think we're going to kind of fade out into the background, as it were, today. Really appreciate you tuning in. Hope you'll tune in again next week when we start a new, well, I don't know whether it's going to be a new season or a new session, but anyway, join us again next time on Streaming Idiots. I'm Tom Sinclair, your chief idiot. We'll catch you next time.